Hi again. Hi again. This is me, the Queen Mistress, and I want to basically clear up what that name means, the Queen Mistress, and bring honor back to the names Mistress and Master. Too many people have, out of fear, the name has been shortened to Mrs., Mistress for Mrs., and Mr. for Master, out of fear of the names, which was ridiculous because of the tyrants that misused their authority. It simply means leader, or both names mean leader, but the name Queen Mistress, well, Queen is obviously the highest elder of the mistresses in that home or domain. That doesn't have to be a castle, it's whatever home it is. The mom, usually, the main woman who is looking after the home, the chatelaine. And master is the same thing. It's the main leader of the home, the owner of the home, the manager of the home. And it also was shortened to Mr. out of fear because of all the tyrants from old days. So these are the original meanings, and I'm going to back it up with the Bible, that it was never really, Master and Mistress were never really done away with, abolished. They were just seemed to have been abolished because now it's more like in the workplace. If you look all the way around, there's bosses and workers and lower workers and higher bosses and lower bosses. It's the same. It's just different labels with the same authority. You're either a leader or a follower following the lead of the leader, or you're somewhere in between where you have both positions and you're given some authority over some people, but you're still under the leadership of the main highest of masters, of leaders. So you still have to answer to whether you're under the authority of others. You still have to answer to the main, who everybody is under the authority of. The owner, the manager even is under the owner's authority and has to answer to. So these names, Master and Mistress, were from way ancient times, and they were just shortened because of the fear, because of the tyrants, which were made to be a lot more than what they actually were in numbers. As far as the Bible goes, here's a verse from Ephesians 6, starting at Ephesians 6, titled Slaves and Masters, down to 6 to 9, and it says, slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear and with sincerity of heart, just as you would obey Christ. Obey them not only to win their favor when their eye is on you, but like slaves of Christ, doing the will of God from your heart. Serve wholeheartedly, as if you were serving the Lord, not men, because you know that the Lord will reward everyone whatever good he does, whether he is slave or free. And masters, treat your slaves in the same way. Do not threaten them, since you know that he who is both their master and yours is in heaven, and there is no favoritism with him. That's one quote. Let me move on over. I'm going to get to the other one and read them both. Hopefully I've got time for this. Okay, the other one is over here in Ephesians 21, verse 2 to verse 10. It includes some more details.
Battery overheated.
It includes some more details over how to live properly in this particular relationship. It says, it happens to say Hebrew servant, but this applies to everybody, I believe. Okay, these are the laws you are to set before them. Hebrew servants. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he is to serve for 6 years. But the 7th year he shall go free, without paying anything. If he comes alone, he is to go free alone. But if he has a wife, when he comes, she is to go with him. If the master gives him a wife and she bears him sons or daughters, the woman and her children shall belong to her master, and only the man shall go free. Well, that is left to interpretation. You could set them both free. That would be, I would think probably the kind thing. Another is, and going on to 5, but if the servant declares, I love my master and my wife and children and do not want to go free, then his master must take him before the judges. That would mean, modern or ancient, that doesn't really matter. Before the judges, that would mean court. He shall take him to the door or doorpost and pierce his ear with an awl. Then he shall be his servant for life. Well, today there's more modern ways of doing the piercings, so that was just the old original way, which would be more painful than what we have now. If a man sells his daughter as a servant, she is not to go free as men's servants do. And that's more likely because she can't be going to not be able to fend for herself. Back then, easier done these days to fend for herself. But anyway, if she does not please the master who has selected her for himself, he must let her be redeemed. That's probably let go and help her out. He has no right to sell her to foreigners because he has broken faith with her. If he selects her for his son, he must grant her the rights of a daughter. So see, she becomes a daughter. She can't be a slave or a servant. If he marries another woman, he must not deprive the first one of food, clothing, and marital rights. See, that's debatable, but it means that he can't just neglect her. Mainly, it's what I believe. If he does not provide her with these 3 things, she is to go free without any payment of money. And that's about it. Well, that's probably because she was working for her keep. But in any case, she was with the relationship. There are ways of having relationships like these that are godly, that are proper. No abuse, no neglect, no threats. Because the master and mistress, if the master and mistress are under God's guidance with Christ, then they should know better than to abuse those under their own service. And if both are under the same, both have Christ in their lives, it does make easier to willingly, and obviously you're not supposed to take anybody against their will. It's supposed to be by free will that someone wants to be your servant, basically your serving companion, or part of, that part of that house in a service, because it's in their nature to be in service more so than to lead.